Please, can you just carry on the work you're doing to give us reasons to be happy this morning, to let us know that while we're enjoying the music, there's lots of work ahead for this retreat. Lieutenant J.E. Ogbodo with 26 men on the Nigeria Brigade's band. Lieutenant Ogbodo, take it away. Thank you. I'd like to urge you to please settle down as we await the arrival of Mr. President. Please settle down. Thank you very much. Lieutenant Ogbodo, it's over to you. announcing the arrival of His Excellency. Shall we remain standing for the national prayer? O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice reign. Amen. You may be seated. Your Excellency, President Bola Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Excellency Senator George Akume, Chief of Staff to Mr. President, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, APC National Chairman, His Excellency Dr. Ganduje, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Esson, Senior Special Advisor to Mr. President and Presidential Aides, with special reference to Hajia Hadiza Bala Usman, Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination, Permanent Secretaries here seated. I'd like to greet and welcome members of the Federal Executive Council who are here with us. We want to thank you for joining us for this very special occasion. Permanent Secretaries here seated, heads of government and extra-ministerial departments, former President of the Senate, former ministers, former permanent secretaries, and I did see Professor Afolabi, former head of service. Speakers, moderators, resource persons for the 2023 Cabinet Retreat, members of the Diplomatic Corps, heads of international organizations, stakeholders, friends of Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eugenia Abu. I'm a broadcaster, multimedia strategy expert, columnist, and writer. I'm the host and anchor for this very special Cabinet Retreat for 2023. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to this all-important event. Your Excellencies, a retreat is a type of group getaway in which the members of that group take time to contemplate their purpose and motives and work on one or more specific goals. It is a brand new day in Abuja and a great day to continue to activate and prosecute intensely without further delay the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu administration. Today is the start of the 2023 Cabinet Retreat for Ministers, Presidential Aides, Permanent Secretaries, and top government functionaries with the theme, delivering on the renewed hope agenda. This program sets out to showcase some of the top-level technocrats, academics, and governance experts, and some of the finest minds from across national and international spaces to help us learn, relearn, and unlearn the nuances, the nitty-gritty, and the dynamism of governance. It was President Bola Tinubu himself, upon taking the reign as Nigeria's president, who said, "As a nation, we have long ago decided to march beyond the dimness of night into the open day of renewed national hope." Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, so much is at stake in delivering a brand new Nigeria: security, fairness, the rule of law, inclusivity, anti-corruption, food and security, poverty elimination, job creation and economic growth, and access to capital. The Tinubu administration has said we can no longer continue to pay lip service to love of country. It's time to get down to work, and this specially curated retreat is one of those events meant to get everyone involved in governance at the very highest level to get them ready. Mr. President, sir, this 2023 cabinet retreat is ready, and I welcome you all. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, time now to invite to the podium the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency Senator George Akume, to deliver his welcome address. Please encourage him as he makes his way to the podium. Thank you very much.
The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Tinubu, GCFR, the National Assembly, ably represented by the Deputy Speaker, the National Chairman of our great party, the APC, His Excellency Ganduje, Honorable Ministers, the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, the Chief of Staff, Special Advisors, Permanent Secretaries, Principal Aides of Mr. President, our partners, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to welcome you to the 2023 Cabinet Retreat organized by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation for Ministers, Presidential Aides, Permanent Secretaries, and top government functionaries. Let me especially welcome to this important event His Excellency the President, members of the National Assembly, members of the Federal Executive Council, top government functionaries, permanent secretaries, our partners, and other special guests. May I use this opportunity to, on behalf of the ministers and other appointees, formally thank His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, for considering us worthy to share in his broad vision of delivering unprecedented and progressive service to our great nation in different capacities. Your Excellency, Mr. President, we assure you of our unalloyed loyalty and dedication to achieve the renewed hope agenda of your administration. To achieve this objective, the Cabinet retreat is designed to prepare and sensitize ministers and other participants on the workings and processes of government with a view to ensuring ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, deliver on the presidential priorities of the renewed hope agenda for 2023 to 2027. The retreat will also provide opportunity to deepen the understanding of participants on best practices in conducting government business. More specifically, the retreat will focus on 1, ensuring all members are abreast of essential government processes relating to procurement, budgeting, anti-corruption drive, Federal Executive Council, and the role of the ministers and permanent secretaries in managing their ministries. Discussing critical enablers for the robust management of relationship with stakeholders of government. And 3, understanding the delivery framework and tracking mechanism of the federal government. And 4, addressing any task and expectations as the President may highlight and direct. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that the 8 presidential priorities were again unveiled by His Excellency, Mr. President, during the inauguration of the National Economic Council. These priorities are food security, ending poverty, economic growth and job creation, access to capital, inclusivity, drawing on all skills base, security, fairness and rule of law, and anti-corruption stance. The priorities have been further unbundled into the following focus areas: reform the economy to deliver sustained inclusive growth, strengthen national security for peace and prosperity, boost agriculture to achieve food security, unlock energy and natural resources for sustainable development, enhance infrastructure and transportation as enablers of growth, focus on education, health, and social investment as essential pillars of development. Accelerate industrialization through digital economy, manufacturing, and innovative technology, and improve governance for effective service delivery. At this juncture, it is important to state that prior to this retreat, the Central Delivery Coordinating Unit, the CDCU, in the Cabinet Affairs Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, in collaboration with the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Policy Coordination, had extensive bilateral engagements with all the 35 ministries and the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation to develop ministerial deliverables that will facilitate the actualization of the 8 priority areas of this administration. These bilateral engagements were followed by robust technical sessions between the ministries and the CDCU team with support from our development and technical partners that included the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office, Partnership to Engage, Reform and Learn, Messrs. KPMG Nigeria, Messrs. Kinsey and Company Nigeria, Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, among others. The ministerial deliverables are strategically crafted to address the priorities and focus areas of President Bola Tinubu's administration from 2023 to 2027. These ministerial deliverables were derived from the Renewed Hope Manifesto, report of the Presidential Advisory Council, the National Development Plan 2021 to 2025, sectoral plans, including policies, programs, and projects of ministries, departments, and agencies. The bilateral engagement provided opportunity for the team from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to sensitize the ministers, permanent secretaries, and technical teams of ministries on the broad vision of the President as encapsulated in the 8 priority areas. The engagement also afforded the ministers the opportunity to make very useful inputs into crafting of the deliverables and the indicators for effective measurement and assessment. The Federal Executive Council is the highest decision-making body as provided in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To make its deliberations effective and robust, it is necessary to draw your attention to the fact that there are guidelines for the end-to-end procedures and processes that cabinet members will need to follow in submitting policy, legal, contract, and other categories of memos. You will be aware of these guidelines during this retreat. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I at this juncture state that as members of the President team, we have been entrusted with huge responsibilities to drive policies and programs under portfolios that we hold. Let me also remind us that there will always be cross-cutting activities, programs, and policies. This demands that collaboration and common vision should always guide our actions and decisions. This retreat, therefore, will afford us the opportunity to share in the President's vision, his dream, and to fine-tune our strategies for prosperous Nigeria. Let me quickly reiterate, Your Excellency, that as members of the Federal Executive Council, we're expected to uphold high-level integrity, patriotism, dedication, and diligence to the service of our fatherland. We're the first-line advisors to the President, and we're expected to speak the truth and to support the President with untainted selflessness. Above all, we must be accountable and must place public trust above every other interest. As ministers, we must be united in upholding national cohesion, promote peace for national unity and development. This inaugural retreat has been structured into 4 main segments to address its key objectives. The first will feature the administrative processes for the delivery of government policies, plans, and projects. During this session, participants will be appraised of the roles and responsibilities of ministers, management of the Federal Executive Council, financial regulations, federal government budget and procurement processes, amongst others. The second session will focus on managing relationships with key stakeholders, such as the legislature, parastatals, the media, and citizens. The third segment will feature technical presentations focusing on renewed hope agenda, accelerators for inclusive and resilient economic growth, and understanding the delivery mechanism for the renewed hope agenda. Fourthly, there will be panel session along the focus areas on how to deliver on the priority areas of Mr. President. Distinguished participants, the high point of this retreat will feature the signing of the Ministerial Performance Bond by ministers, ministers of state, and permanent secretaries. The bonds contain the ministerial deliverables alongside their key performance indicators, KPIs. Each of the KPIs contain the baseline data and targets for the next 4 years. Ministry performance will be assessed quarterly, beginning from the end of the first quarter of 2024. In this regard, ministers and permanent secretaries are enjoined to prioritize implementation of these deliverables through appropriate budgeting and implementation to ensure the achievement of Mr. President's priorities. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I inform that this retreat is strategically packaged to be participatory and result-oriented. To this end, I urge you all to make useful and constructive contributions during the panel sessions. The outcome of the retreat is expected to pave the way for accelerated delivery of government policies, programs, and projects of this administration for the next 4 years. Once again, I welcome you all to this very important cabinet retreat. I look forward to your active participation throughout the duration of the retreat. I thank you all for your kind attention. God bless you.
Handkerchief Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency Senator George Akume, has spoken on behalf of the team that have lined up behind the presidency of President Bola Tinubu. He has said, "We assure you, Your Excellency, of our loyalty and commitment to achieve the renewed hope of the President's agenda from 2023 to 2027. We will adhere to best practices and will spend this retreat learning, relearning, and unlearning to achieve the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President." Let's hear another round of applause for the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Your Excellency, Mr. President, it's time now to get the goodwill messages to the podium. We will start with a man who has, in his position, continued to deepen the relationship between Nigeria and his country. Britain remains a worthy ally of Nigeria, and they have been very busy collaborating at different levels, including governance, including ensuring service delivery, and promoting citizens of Nigeria at various educational institutions in the UK. I am privileged to have been a Chevening Scholar many years ago under the British government. May I at this point invite, for his goodwill message, His Excellency Dr. Richard Montgomery, British High Commissioner to Nigeria.
Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, distinguished office holders, honorable ministers and senior officials, ladies and gentlemen, please let me stand on the protocol already established. Your Excellency, Mr. President, thank you for inviting me to this cabinet retreat. I'm deeply honored to deliver a goodwill message at such an important time. Nigeria faces big security, economic, and social challenges. In a global context of big challenges, a difficult global economy, shifting geopolitical and foreign policy pressures. And as I've said in public before, I applaud the big and bold economic reforms that you are taking forward. I admire your leadership of ECOWAS, your strong voice on democracy, and your G20 international engagement, all of which have thrust Nigeria back onto the international stage. I also wanted, Mr. President, to use my goodwill message to confirm the UK's renewed partnership with Nigeria and with your cabinet and with the Nigerian people. Nigeria really matters to the UK. We share history, we share a commitment to democratic politics, we share interests in defense and security, in trade and investment, we share strong people-to-people links. The Nigerian diaspora, creative industries, the sports stars are increasingly central to the UK's national culture and life. And we also have strong mutual accountability, development agreements at the federal and at the state level on health, on education, on job creation, and on government effectiveness. And indeed, I'm here this morning because the UK has had for some years now an excellent partnership with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. This is called the Partnership to Engage, Reform and Learn, or PEARL program. And as His Excellency the SGF just said, we've been working since 2019. The PEARL program, run largely by Nigerian experts, have supported the impressive central coordinating and delivery unit for presidential priorities. We can only support the process, not the content. That is your sovereign decision of government. But your 8 priorities under the renewed hope agenda, Mr. President, you provide a clarity of purpose. Your policy advisory committees have identified plans, milestones, and performance indicators that will be discussed at this retreat. And this cabinet retreat can start to use the SGF's tracking system to good effect over the coming years to drive delivery, to learn from challenges, and to move Nigeria forward. Mr. President, no doubt there are challenges ahead. This government has inherited big problems and a tough global context. These are difficult times, and people are hurting. Expectations are high. Better delivery is desperately needed. But over my long association with Nigeria, and wherever I go in this great country, I have been struck by the resilience of Nigerians, by their creative and can-do attitude, and by their entrepreneurial spirit. And I'm optimistic that your government, Mr. President, with ambition and clear plans, can remove the constraints on this entrepreneurial spirit and give a helping hand to those people that need it and help move Nigeria forward. So to end my message, Mr. President, I'd like to recognize Nigeria as a growing regional and global powerhouse. You are likely to become the 3rd largest country in the world by 2050. I applaud your plans to stabilize the economy and put it on a higher growth path to prosperity, on which so much else depends. The UK stands ready to support in the spirit of mutual respect. The UK stands ready to stand up on our partnerships across a range of areas, sir. And I wish you, sir, and your government all best wishes and goodwill in your work ahead. Thank you.
His Excellency Dr. Richard Montgomery, British High Commissioner to Nigeria, on the history that ties us and binds us together, on the work they've been doing in Nigeria in training, policy development, and other areas of interest together. We thank you so very much for your goodwill message, Dr. Montgomery. It's time now to invite another ally of Nigeria, development partner, who constantly and continuously shows interest in how Nigeria is growing exponentially and otherwise. Help me welcome Mr. Shubham Chaudhary, World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, to deliver his goodwill message. And I dare say, Your Excellency, one of my favorite things about him is that he continues to wear the South-South apparel of Nigeria. A round of applause for the country director.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, please permit me to stand on existing protocols. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is such an incredible honor and privilege to have been invited to give this message, goodwill message, at the start of this important cabinet retreat. I'd like to think that in some ways, perhaps it's a measure of the trust that we at the World Bank, especially the team on the ground, have been able to gain from all of you, the leaders, the government of Nigeria, that we're here with a very simple mission, which is to help you and support you in this incredibly important and really challenging task of lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty, of making lives better for everyone, for helping young Nigerians regain that renewed hope in their future. That's why we're here, and I hope that through what we've been able to do, that we will be able to continue supporting you as you realize this enormously important task. You know, we are the World Bank, we're a development organization. Over the last 3.5 years 4 years that I've been here, our board has committed, approved over $11 billion in financing for the government. You know, our financing is meant to go for government at both the federal and at the subnational levels. So we're here to support your programs. We take your guidance from you. But even though we have the word bank in our names, I hope you will think of us as more than a bank. I mean, our real hope is that you will trust us and that we will be able to earn your trust, that we have something more to offer in the nature of solutions to help you think through and then implement the priorities, the focus areas that you've laid out by bringing in ideas and experience. Financing is only part of the solution. It's really the ideas and the vision. So you have my commitment that I and the team, the entire World Bank across the globe, we're here to support you in that. I would also like to say that I feel particularly privileged to have been here in Nigeria these last 4 years, and especially in the last few months, at this critical juncture, you know, where Nigeria faced critical choice, whether to continue muddling through business as usual with the risk of things falling apart, growing by the day, or to have the courage to chart a new course, to take bold steps to really finally see Nigeria rise to its true potential. Mr. President, from your first day, from your inaugural address, you made it very clear what your choice was. You've taken some incredibly bold steps, ones that very few leaders, if any, would have had the courage to take, to chart this new course for Nigeria, to provide that renewed hope. I think we all recognize how truly kind of remarkable that has been, and that it has not been easy. In these last few months, the economy, society, the people, Nigerians, have had to live through hard times. And Nigeria continues to be in a tenuous spot, but you've stopped the hemorrhaging. But now comes the time to rebuild, to recover. Please count on us. There will still be some incredibly hard choices and decisions that you and your cabinet will need to make. Please count on us to be there to help support you. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Country Director of the World Bank, Mr. Chuduri, has delivered his goodwill message to Nigeria, wishing us well and wishing the government well, and his commitment to continue to partner with us as we make our way in the development of this great nation. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, would like to thank you, World Bank Country Director, for your goodwill message. Thank you very much. Let's give him another round of applause, please. Time now for me to invite His Excellency, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, to do the honors of bringing Mr. President to the podium. Your Excellency, the SGF, sir. Let's keep clapping for him. It's a long walk. It's a long walk.
Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, it is my honor and privilege to invite His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, to move over and address the podium.
Please be seated. if I can stand on the existing protocol as enumerated by a most qualified and respected moderator who has comprehensively gotten us through. I just say good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great morning in Nigeria, and I am humbled and happy to stand before you on this retreat, but forward-looking determination to embark on very strong, bold endeavor to rebuild our country's economy and our people's hope renewed. Thank you very much for your attendance. With strong determination, we have brought together the best brains, the best hands to navigate the future of this country. We're not looking backwards. We can't complain and give excuses. It is our country. We have to build it. We have to renew the foundation. We have to give hope to the near hopeless, to Nigerians in doubt whether democracy and economic growth will be the pathway to their prosperity. I'm here to assure you and work with you. The best brain we can put together in civil service, the best brain that we can put together in our democratic parliament that have been chosen for us by the public. It's a good thing that the chairman of our party is here. But the president is the president of whole. Whether affiliated with a political party, regardless of religious, ethnic, or otherwise. We are one. Like I stated before, a great Nigeria is possible. And a greater Nigeria will come under your commitment, guidance, and resolute determination to give the country a direction. I'm with you. And please be assured that this great country is one family. In one house, geographically located, partitioned and living in different rooms, but we are all one family. And we are here to make allegiance and give direction to that one family, making sure that relationship can only be stronger if we give hope to our people, can only achieve our vision with boldness and strong determination, with collaboration. I've stated before, no one succeeds alone. You, the civil service, you must not see a minister as he or she will come and go, you will be there. You must make a positive team for the good of this country. Yes, I admit and I accept the asset and liability of my predecessor. It's part of definition in my professional background. But you are in this ship. You will make good of it, but not wreck it. You are a member of a great family. Don't see that minister as opportunistic. See he or she as a partner that we must take this ship forward, navigate it through turbulence and clear weather. We are lucky we have a nation. The challenges are all over the world. You can see the chaos all around you. But be focused, like a man driving in the tunnel. Don't see the sky. Don't look up. Face your direction. Be committed to the value and principle of result that will affect you, your neighbor, and the entire nation. We've spent the last 6 months reviewing and evaluating ourselves. We've come a long way. But we set the agenda. Healthcare is a priority. Education of our people is a must. No weapon, no other weapon against poverty than education. You have opportunity to change things. Recently, or 3 days ago, we received the Chancellor of the Republic of Germany and his delegation of investors. One of their key complaints and a question is whether they can bring their capital, repatriate their dividends, or if not satisfied, take their capital away. Trade and investment was called upon by me to explain further that those obstacles are gone, never to come back again. We are open for business. And that is why we established Resort Delivery Unit. At the end of this retreat, we are going to sign a bond of understanding between you, the ministers, the permanent secretary, and myself. If you are performing, nothing to fear. If you miss the objective, we review. If no performance, you leave us. No one is an island. And the buck stopped on my desk. So I assure you, you have a free hand. You must be intellectually inquisitive to ask how, why, when, and why it must be immediate. You have responsibility to serve the people. I've taken a young lady, very dynamic, Addis Ababa Usman, to head that delivery unit. If you have any complaint about her, see me. If you're ready to work with her, stay there. Delivery, yes. We must achieve it. For the sake of the millions of the people. Yes, we are talking about the population of this country. What do you do with it? Make it an asset or a liability? Focus on its progress and come up with bold endeavors. We are great talents around the world. The biggest intellectually sound country in Horn of Africa. Yes, we have challenges in SIA. We have challenges of climate change. South and north of Nigeria is battered with ocean surge. You have desert encroachment in the north. But we are still blessed with arable lands. We can do it. We can build our country. It's not about theoreticians. It's about practical determination and focused evaluation. Yes, it is our country. We have no other one. Let's be proud that we are Nigerians. Now we can do it. You can show leadership. We can fight to make democracy a lasting reference for the rest of Africa. Don't be afraid to take decisions, but don't be antagonistic of your supervisor. If they are wrong, debate it. I stand before you, and I've claimed several occasions, and I'm saying today again, as the president, I can make mistakes. Point it to me. I will resolve that conflict, that error. Perfection is only that of God Almighty. But you are there to help me succeed. Success I must achieve by all means necessary. have great minds, great intellectuals, great intellects, and all that we need. When we were discussing this retreat, I said, other than members of diplomatic corps to give us goodwill and inspiration, don't invite any foreigner to give me a lecture about governance. I've been through it. And I believe in Nigeria. It started from the day I was sworn in. The bold endeavor is only achieved through courage, determination, and focused leadership. We are going through the reform painfully, and we still have other challenges. Don't be a clog in the wheel of Nigerian progress. Let us look forward. Let us be determined that corruption will go. Progress will be achieved. Better wages for our workers. Living wages. We will transform the economy to work for millions of our citizens. We must take 50 million people out of poverty. We must build healthcare that works for all. Look around, don't be wicked. Look at the standard of education. Look at the classrooms. Look at the roads. We can only spend the money. We will find it. We cannot spend the people. No crime in borrowing. Thank you, World Bank, for being a lending friend. But let your achievement be homegrown. The determination that Nigeria can do it is here. If it has not been started 6 months ago, we are here to switch off the light, make you included, all Nigerians included. Our path for tomorrow is charted for our children and grandchildren. Don't be selfish about it. Poverty is not a shameful thing. It's only unacceptable. And we have to banish it because it's unacceptable. Let's work on other identifiable areas. Because a memo is submitted to you doesn't mean that is the end of that matter. Think through it. Be inquisitive. Ask how, when, why. I'm ready to enjoy the retreat going forward. We are not retreating from progress. We are just to talk to one another and chart a path for progress and prosperity of this nation. I'm honored to declare this brainstorming session open. Thank you.
His Excellency, President Bola Tinubu, GCFR. We are one family in one house, and we have gathered the best brains here for this retreat. No one succeeds alone, and a greater Nigeria will come under your commitment and resolute determination to give the nation your best. Be committed to the Bible and the direction that gives Nigeria a true name and a true color to give hope to this family. Your Excellency, Mr. President, you have spoken, and as a television broadcaster, the high point for me would be, let's be proud that we are Nigerians. Mr. President has spoken. Let's give him another round of applause. Mr. President has also described this cabinet retreat as a homegrown cabinet retreat with some of the finest minds in the country coming together to enable us talk to ourselves, is what he has said. We thank you, sir. We thank you indeed. It is time now for me to invite to come and sit at the panel session the panelists for administrative processes for the delivery of government policies, plans, and projects. Now, session. Dr. Joe Abba is an internationally recognized expert in governance and institutional change.